Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lauren and I am a fashion designer with a women's wear collection, Lauren Michelle. I make videos sometimes where I share a little bit of my progress and process with you guys, and also a little bit of the tips and tricks that I've just kind of picked up along the way. So I recently got into a fun dialogue with a friend of mine about some of my favorite tools here in the design studio. I have a lot of tools. I'm kind of always scouting for new ones, and I definitely have some that are my absolute can't live without favorites. And honestly, I'm kind of like a no tool left behind kind of gal. So the thought of not having some of these gives me like a little anxiety. Also, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to talk about the physical tools that are just here in the design studio, and I'm not going to talk about any of the digital tools that I use, like my beloved Adobe Illustrator or my wonderful Wacom tablet. I'm just going to talk about things that I use to either construct garments or to handcraft patterns. I really love making patterns. That is something that I have a lot of fun doing, and I love making sure I have a good fit. And I feel like a lot of these tools will help you lay down a good foundation for good garments. All right, so let's get into it. So the first one, I probably pull this one out the most of any tool here, and that is going to be just a clear plastic ruler. It is super important and great because if you're doing something like adding a seam allowance, it's helpful for you to be able to kind of just follow along and see through the ruler. And I think you can be a lot more precise when you use something like this that you can see through. Okay, so the second one on my list is going to be this flex ruler. I love this so much because it is crazy helpful when you're drafting a pants pattern. It helps you measure curve lines so much more accurately. And sure, you could struggle with a tape measure, but why? This is just so much easier. You know, if you want to make sure that the curve line around the crotch fits perfectly, then this is the guy to use. And let's be real, poorly fitted pants are the devil's work. So with that, let's get into number 3. This one is also part of my A-team. This is a pattern notcher. So what this does is it punches little notches along your pattern pieces so that you can match the pieces together when you sew. All you have to do is line up the notches. Super, super helpful. And some of you who are not drafting your own patterns yet and maybe have just used pre-made patterns from Joann's or something like that, may be familiar with the term notches, but not familiar with making your own notches. And on the pattern that you guys are using, it looks like little arrows that you line up. So yeah, same concept, different tool. Number 4 is going to be a tracing wheel. So this one is actually kind of an old one that I really love that's been passed down. And I love it because it's pretty sturdy. It can take some of the abuse that I dish out to it. But this one is actually a little bit sharper, and the spikes are a little deeper than what you would see probably at some of the like box stores nowadays. If I compare it to, let's see, yeah, like this one, this is one that you will probably see, let's see if we can get that to focus, that you will probably see at like a Joann's or a Walmart. And this is, you know, the spikes are not very deep, so it's going to be a little harder for you to use, I think. So I use this to take my draped pattern from the form and transfer it onto paper. So I'll take that muslin drape and I will put it on paper, and then I will trace out what I have marked on the form on the muslin with this tracing wheel. And then I will take the muslin off the paper and I basically connect the dots. And when you have something that has deeper spikes like this, it's a lot easier to actually connect dots that you can see. So number 5, this may seem like a boring one, but this is just a mechanical pencil. So using one of these versus using one of these, makes kind of a big difference to me. Okay, if I use a traditional wooden pencil like this, it's going to get progressively duller and rounder and fatter as I'm drawing my line down, right? So I could be adding, let's say, a 1/16 of an inch on both sides of a pattern piece, right? If I add a 1/16 of an inch to both sides of a pattern piece, and let's say I have 4 pattern pieces, I have, for absolutely no reason at all, just added a 1/2 an inch to that pattern piece. And then later you'll go back and be like, why didn't this fit? Well, you used a fat pencil instead of a skinny pencil that stays sharp all the time, and you ended up adding unnecessary ease to the pattern piece. So details matter, guys. Okay, so those are my top 5 things. I think that this would probably be helpful to someone who, if you're maybe getting a studio started or you want to start sewing and you sit down and you're like, I don't know what to do, or if you're going to look at Joann's or something like that, they have a lot of different things for you to choose from. You can maybe feel a little overwhelmed. I hope that this video helps you to kind of narrow it down, and maybe taking this trip on my kind of hypothetical desert island kind of guided you in terms of what you might want to use if you were just getting set up and started. So let me know, what do you think of my favorite tools? And are there any that you think I should have added to the list? What about if I made an honorable mention list? What would you put on my honorable mention? Go ahead and comment down below. And then again, as always, let me know if there's something that you want to hear from me specifically. Any questions that you have? Is there a topic that you think I might be helpful explaining? You know what to do. Comment down below. Thank you so much to everybody for the questions that I got for the other videos, all the super nice comments, text DMs, carrier pigeons, whatever. Thank you. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.